Hey everyone, my name is Chris Lambert, and on this channel we talk Kanye West, and today we're talking the continued fallout between Drake and Kanye and how it has brought in Andre 3000 to the beef. And he isn't necessarily thrilled by it. So we talked earlier about how last night Drake released Life of the Party, a song that Kanye previewed in Las Vegas, and that it was rumored in the final version was going to have Andre 3000. And Drake played it, and it not only had this amazing verse by Andre 3000, but a whole new verse from Kanye that was different from what Kanye played in Las Vegas. That was much more aggressive, as Kanye was calling out Drake, Travis Scott, Sahai the Prince, Virgil Abloh, and Andre had some thoughts about it now in the aftermath of this coming out, and people really pointing out Andre's verse is completely different from what Kanye's doing. And so this is what Andre 3000 had to say. A few weeks ago, Kanye reached out about me being a part of the Donda album. I was inspired by his idea to make a musical tribute to his mom. It felt appropriate to me to support the Donda concept by referencing my own mother, who passed away in 2013. So this time period that we're thinking in terms of a few weeks ago might be when Kanye left Atlanta and went back out to Los Angeles. We mentioned in the previous Life of the Party video that we had done when Kanye played the song in Berlin that Andre 3000 was mentioned by Kanye's chef when Kanye and crew went back to Los Angeles as being introduced to Andre. So I think that Kanye possibly met up with Andre 3000 back in Los Angeles around it would have been August like 6th, 7th, 8th period. And that's when this would have happened. We both share that loss. I thought it was a beautiful choice to make a clean album, but unfortunately, I didn't know that was the plan before I wrote and recorded my verse. It was something that a lot of us were shocked by because at the listening party, the songs were all uncensored. And then when the album finally came out, there wasn't an explicit version. It was just a clean version of the album that had specific lines censored out. And so it was clear to me that an edited, clean format of the verse would not work without having the raw original also available. So Andre didn't like the idea of having his version of the verse having those spaces and gaps that happen when you edit the song, which is something that people have complained about with Donda, as some lines that have multiple swear words in them just kind of go like, "I'll tell you," and you just kind of throws off the rhythm. So I think with somebody that's so like artistic as Andre, it just doesn't fly with them when the actual version of the verse isn't available as well. If you have clean and explicit, that's fine. But if it's only clean and people can't choose to listen to the verse in full, he wasn't a fan of that. So he says, "So sadly, I had to be omitted from the original album release," which I think is him just saying, I didn't want my verse to be on an album where it was going to be edited like that, which I think is fair and fine. I could imagine some people would be like, does it matter that much? But if this is your craft, this is your art, you don't want to have those restraints. If anybody should understand that, it's Kanye, right? Who constantly is saying, like, you can't tell me what to do. Don't try to, like, hold me down or stop me. The track I received and wrote to didn't have the diss verse on it, and we were hoping to make a more focused offering for the Donda album. So that's one of the key points. I've seen people on social media say, you know, Andre 3000 wrote this verse knowing what Kanye's verse was. And no, he probably, as you can see, the Life of the Party verse from Las Vegas said nothing about Drake at all. It was much more in line with just what Kanye talks about on Donda in general, society, his life, tensions, God, with nothing in the way of a diss. So this is the verse that Andre probably heard and wrote to and was thinking his verse was going to complement. He had no idea that Kanye was going to do all of this that involves Drake. So you have that going on. We were hoping to make a more focused offering for the Donda album, but I guess things happen like they were supposed to. I guess. It's unfortunate that it was released in this way, and two artists that I love are going back and forth. I guess another key line, I had to be omitted from the original album release. There have been expectations or speculations that Kanye was going to release a deluxe version of the album, an explicit version of the album, some kind of updated version that might have Life of the Party or some of the other songs that were talked about but didn't make the final cuts. And I could see somebody reading into it like I had to be omitted from the original album release. Like, oh, so there's the original and then there's something else. Maybe, but who knows? um, it's unfortunate that it was released in this way, and two artists that I love are going back and forth. Yeah, so Andre doesn't like how people heard his verse in terms of Drake just leaking the song, but I'm like feel like he's equally upset that Kanye put a diss verse like and changed a verse to a full diss. It's not just like a verse on the song, it is Kanye's verse, and it's really long. It's really getting at like Drake, and it's just like, why would you do that when I wrote this emotional, like provocative verse about my mother passing and your mother, and you take this song and you make it into a diss? And Andre is such a sweet man, you know, and polite guy that he's not saying that outright. He's just like, you know, it's unfortunate that it's come to this, and two artists that I love are going back and forth. I wanted to be on Certified Lover Boy too. I just want to work with people that inspire me. Hopefully I can work with Kendrick on his album. Please, Kendrick, get on the phone. I know you watch this channel, Kendrick. I know you were staying up to date with Kanye through our channel, and I love you for that. You know, appreciate the support, but stop watching right now and call Andre 3000. I'd love to work with Lil Baby, Tyler the Creator, and Jay-Z. I respect them all, which is fantastic, right? It's nice to see Andre 3000 like still doing things in the game, releasing songs. Like I'd love to hear him on the next Tyler project. I'd love to hear him on the next Jay-Z project. So just 3 Stacks proving again why he's the best. What a nice statement. It clarifies in a lot of ways some of the tensions that people had in terms of, you know, did he know what this was when it happened? No. Is he upset? Kind of, yes. And then what's some of the story behind the journey of this song, right? And giving us some sort of timeline. So we'll see. We're getting closer to the 8 o'clock release that Consequence hinted at, that Life of the Party might drop. And we don't know if it is going to be an original version of the song that is the high road, right, where Kanye takes the diss off and just has it be the Las Vegas verse or even a new verse with Andre, or if it's going to be just a CD quality finished version that has Andre on here and then Kanye's verse that we heard, or something new altogether. And you have to wonder, knowing what Kanye's doing on this song, if Andre would even reach out to Kanye and say, hey, if you're going to release this song with that kind of verse on it, take my verse off. You know, we'll see. It's currently 42 minutes until that time that the song was supposed to come out, according to Consequence. So we'll stay tuned for more updates. But that's it for this video. If you're enjoying the channel and you want to support us, the easiest way is to like, subscribe, comment, as any of those things tell YouTube this is a channel people like, and then they show it to others, which goes a long way in supporting us. And then we also have our membership feature. If you go to the homepage of our YouTube page, you can see the join button. There are a couple different membership levels. It's kind of YouTube's version of Patreon. So if you want to throw a couple dollars our way each month, that's also very much appreciated. Thank you to those of you who have done that. And then we have our podcast, Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, which is the largest body of criticism or scholarly analysis of Kanye's discography in existence, I'm pretty sure. So we have covered college dropout, late registration, graduation, 808s, Yay, Kids See Ghost, and Jesus is King. And our Donda season has officially started. And before the end of the year, we will also finish up My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Yeezus, and The Life of Pablo. So if you've ever wanted to know more about the meanings, themes, concepts on any song or album, we have you covered. It's available on Apple, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you listen to podcasts. So go ahead and check that out. And our Donda season episodes are coming out on YouTube as well. So if you want the video version that lacks some of the production flair, you can watch that. But if you want the audio version that has a lot more of the clips and music thrown in, then you can check that out. So that's it. Until next time, stay wavy and keep it loopy. Cheers.